Hello and welcome back to another reaction. In this occasion, Wakfu, another OVA. In this case, the quest for the Eliatrope Dofus, and of course, the subtitle I get from this is the Ice Throne. Once again, this has been provided by one of my subscribers. Thank you so much to Mana Pirf. Again, correct me if I pronounce your name incorrectly. But yeah, thanks to this person, again, I'm not going to say if it's a she or if it's a he because I don't know. Not at least during the recording of this, this reaction. But thank you so much because once again, you provide me with high quality recording, a high quality video. Because I have been able to find this one, but again, I think it was 240p. So yeah, it was a little bit worse than last time. But in this case, it's amazingly good looking. So yeah, again, thank you so much for this gift to the channel to another one of my subscribers. And yes, probably I'm gonna be using the original archive of the of YouTube because yeah, my capturing video from the computer is terrible. It's out of sync with the audio, and last time when I was watching the Ogre's OVA, it was completely out of sync. The audio was slowly going ahead or going behind. I don't remember which one, but yeah, it was just awful. It was impossible to coordinate the audio with the video, and yeah, I need to update my capturing video from my computer. So yeah, I haven't done that because yeah, it's a lot of stuff. A couple of things before we get into the OVA. Yes, I am on vacation, so probably next week is going to be a lot more videos. I have been neglecting those in the past few weeks because I have a lot of stuff to do. So yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to update as frequent as I wanted. But luckily, this vacation, my new vacation, are going to give me a lot more time to record and a lot more time to edit. So yeah, hopefully next week is going to be a lot more videos than the last few weeks that we've been receiving. But don't worry, I'm still trying to adjust the schedule because yes, I have a lot of another projects that a lot of people want me to do. So yes, I'm gonna try to do those. But once again, yeah, the amount of projects I have, the amount of work that I have from school and all that jazz, yeah, it was terrible. But anyway, yeah, my vacation are starting, and yes, this is the first recording of the vacations because yeah, the last day or the first day of vacation, I decided to sleep almost the whole day because I was so tired, so tired. But finally, I'm awake and I'm fine. So yeah, let's just cut this because I don't think you care much about my vacation. Yeah, let's cut all of this and watch the video, shall we? Okay, I'm back. I just watched a second time the first Dofus special. I think that is kind of what these three episodes are kind of called. The Eliatrope Dofus. The first one, and I don't know if this is the title for all of them, and it's just the throne of the Ice Throne is part of whatever we are doing, or is just this one, and we're going to get names of the other ones. Anyway, yeah, it was a very interesting episode, a very intriguing one, because it feels like an episode of one of the seasons, or the first one when you're presenting the villain, or the last ones when you are really confronting the villain. It's kind of a combination of both. Because we had a confrontation in the first episode of the first season against Nox. Of course, in that moment it was Gorgo who was obviously the one confronting Nox, because yeah, in that moment Gorgo was way too powerful, not powerful enough to defeat Nox to a certain degree. And of course, then all the events that happened in the season 1, of course, develop. But again, this is a combination of the beginning and end of a season. Again, we present the villain, we give you the information of the villain, and of course, then we have the confrontation against the villain. In this case, it feels weird because yes, we presented a villain. In this case, Count. I don't recall the name. I'm gonna check it later on. We have our villain. And yes, it's kind of an ice team, and it's a pretty intimidating villain. The first time you saw it, the voice. I really like the deep voice they gave him. It's very fitting to the character. And of course, he's speaking with this kind of other brothers and sisters of him that they have another plan. And I love again the magic around here, all the magic and all the spectacular way that only an animation can get away and doesn't feel forced and doesn't feel artificial. Because yes, within the animation of the world, you feel that yes, this is possible thanks to the magic and thanks to the things you are used to seeing in this animation. Of course, this helps to create this level of intimidation. And yes, I got to be honest, at the beginning I didn't notice that he was a Shalor. Yes, they mentioned that he used a Shalor kind of get up and all that, but I never suspected him to be a Shalor. I don't know why, until the last few minutes of the fight between Yugo and him is when I suspected that he was a Shalor, or when I confirmed that he was a Shalor. Again, I don't know why, I just passed my by like it was nothing. But of course, what caught my attention that it was kind of all this stuff that Nox had. The sword, the armor, the mask, and of course the giant clock, the giant robot. And yes, it's convinced that these guys, for me it was kind of a Nox fanboy in the villain. I know it sounds weird, thanks to the context of the episode, but yeah, that is the vibe that this guy gave me in the beginning. And of course, he's kind of obsessed with Amalia. That is something I suspected from the beginning, because it was plainly obvious that he was obsessed with Amalia. But he was also obsessed and kind of obsessed with Yugo. But the first minutes, again, I know I feel like I'm jumping way too much in this episode, but it's kind of the feeling I get from the episode, at least from the beginning. Because yes, again, the first few minutes is kind of a presentation of what happened with our heroes. We saw the crisis of the other demons, and then the end of it. Of course, this is not just recently. I thought it was 6 months. I read it incorrectly the first time I saw it. The second time it was clarified. No, 6 months of Ruel staying in the inn and telling that yeah, all this time. Oh yes, I'm going tomorrow. I'm going tomorrow. So yeah, it's been years, because yes, it was kind of weird. Because we saw the grown-ups kid of Pompon and Evangeline. But yeah, it's kind of a way of showing you what happened to our heroes after the crisis. That well, with the Electrops, with the Dofus, with the demons, and of course with Kilby. What happened? They are living in peace. They are developing even more. Yugo is not growing that much, but of course there is an explanation later on. What happened to us? Apparently he has a family now. Ash has a family. Junior, which they don't call Junior, or at least Ruel doesn't call him Junior, but I assume it's the same character. What happened to Chibi? Because yeah, we see Chibi kind of grown up. Gargle not so much. He's still the small one. Kamasutara, I think it was the name that Ruel used for his mascot. Again, I assume that is Junior. But anyway, yeah, we see that this kind of happy dynamic that Adamai is helping with the kitchen and all the rest. They are being called by another character that was presented in another special, Otomai. The father of the ogress, and of course a little bit of a silly moment in which Gargle tried to eat him, believing it was a bird. It's a very funny scene, especially when he has his leg trapped in Gargle's mouth, and yes, there's a kind of Gargle getting but still not wanting to release his prey. Where of course we saw in the other scene, again in a very relaxing moment, we saw, of course, I'm sorry, Pompon and Evangeline, and their 2 kids, a girl and a boy, I assume. of course, I guess those are twins. They look the same-ish, well, with the characteristics of the father, but enough distinction that doesn't, oh, this is a exact copy of the parents. No. And I love that because, yes, it's an old cliche that the parents, if she's a girl, she needs to be an exact copy of the mother in the small version. And if he is a boy, it needs to be an exact copy of the father in a small version. No, we kind of have a very distinct personalities, a very distinct character design. Because yeah, at the beginning I didn't know if there were boys, girls, whatever. I suppose I should have known. I don't know if the name of the behavior and all that, and it makes kind of a, I don't know if funny stuff when you see that the Yop is the girl and the Kra is the boy, or something along those lines. Anyway, again, we're seeing this very peaceful moment, but that doesn't mean that they don't have training. My guess is the girl is having Yop training, like fighting and all that, and of course the boy is having Kra training, how to use, in this case, a bow and arrow. Well, not exactly a bow and arrow, but I don't know if that thing has a special name or it's just a crossbow. But anyway, we see this kind of Pacific moment, and of course they are still not married because all the moments have been ruined for several other stuff. And of course we have all this flashback. But again, these few minutes, these few moments, it's kind of a presentation of what happened to our heroes and what is going on with their life, which is something I'm thankful. That is not just showing the end. That they are showing that yes, even though they have their lives, they are willing to be the heroes again, because that is exactly what they did. They have this specific life. They have this very comfortable life. Yes, they have their same personalities. They haven't changed that much. Evangelist gets angry with Popo sometimes, but they love each other and they love their children. And I love the children. This presentation of the children, because yes, I don't recall names, I need to be repeated over and over and over again. So yes, don't worry, if they appear in the third season and if they keep appearing on this special, I need to learn those names. But so far, I haven't that good. But anyway, yes, we're seeing a very interesting point of view. The life of these people that we admire, that we have been following for 2 seasons. And yes, this is kind of a reward of their efforts in the war, in the 2 wars they have to fight. Once against a Shalor, a very powerful Shalor. I don't want to jump the gun and say the most powerful Shalor. Perhaps there is another one who is more powerful. Perhaps it's this one. But I don't think so for the words that were spoken before. And of course, we have the war against demons. Yes, again, this is kind of a reward for our heroes. And it's something I appreciate. And then of course, after we saw this marvelous and relaxing life, we go back to the kingdom of Sarida. They are worried because something odd or something weird is happening. They arrive thanks to recall potions that Otoma is the one who made said potions. And they arrive first, of course, the Pompon family, because I don't think he has a last name. And then of course is Yugo, Adamai in the machine, and of course Royal in Royal's machine. And yes, they are happy to see each other and they are happy and all that. Yes, unfortunately it's not for a happy occasion. The ogress again shed tears, and as we know, thanks to the special, those tears are, well, terrible for the rest of the world, because he can produce a huge, and I mean a huge amount of water thanks to those tears. Yes, he's kind of drowning the entire kingdom, and we saw that. But not only that, this guy, the Count, captured or robbed, or whatever you want to call it, 2 Eliatrop Dofus, which are of course very important to the people, or to the Eliatrop people. And he wants to change said Dofus for the hand in marriage of Amalia. This is something very, very weird for me, for several aspects. And yes, I'm going to speak about this one before continuing with the special. I don't like those type of marriage. It's something that, yes, I understand why the old kingdoms did it, because yes, it wasn't love, it was just convenience for the rest of the world or for the kingdom. That yes, we kind of interchange sons and daughters, so we are protected by each other, because yes, you are not going to attack your own family and all that. Yes, I understand why. But for me, it's weird because yes, I live in a modern world. I do not understand this use of a princess to just gain security for your kingdom. Because yes, they are using her as an object. They are not taking into account the feelings of the princess. Yes, I understand why they do it. It's obvious. And perhaps another thing that is fueling my disagreement of this union is because yes, I'm a shipper for Amalia and Yugo. It's something that has been clear since season 2, especially because it was hammered, well, not hammered, it was more prevalent in during season 2, during the second season of this cartoon. But yeah, that's why perhaps that is my discomfort, because yes, I'm a shipper of that. But still, in a very objective way of viewing this, yeah, it's weird because they are using these objects that they want, especially objects that they should not have. Because these are literally people, Eliatrof people, and dragons. Of course, they are considered both equally important for the kingdom. And they are using as ransom for well, getting the hand of somebody else. Of course, we know that yes, Yugo and Amalia have feelings for each other, and it's obvious. It's completely obvious, especially in this episode, because yes, Alama is speaking with Yugo, said that we know your feelings for Amalia, and of course, Yugo is the most affected of the group, alongside, of course, with Amalia. He's the most affected because yes, he has feelings for Amalia, and this is obvious in this one. If it was subtle, if you can call that subtle, in season 2, in this special, it's obvious that is yeah, they have feelings for each other. And of course, we saw Amalia kind of breaking down in tears in the presence of Evangeline. So yeah, but she is doing that in order to protect her kingdom, and this speaks a lot in the maturity of Amalia, which is something that a lot of you don't see or haven't seen in the second season. And yes, I understand. I have said this before. I understand why you feel that Amalia is the brattiest, is the least mature, is the one who is abandoning her kingdom and all that. Yes, I understand that. Perfectly fine with that argument. That doesn't change the fact that yes, I really do like Amalia. I like her character, and I think this is showing a level of maturity that we haven't seen before in her. She is willing to sacrifice her own feelings, her own happiness, in order to preserve her own kingdom, and this speaks again volumes on the level of maturity of Amalia in this case. Anyway, yeah, we saw that the ogress is still crying and need to solve the situation, and they are going to this other kingdom. Of course, we saw Master Yoris again, or what we presume it was Master Yoris. I never suspect a thing until the very end. We saw, of course, the soldiers of this guy, and again, we saw that this Count is obsessed not only with Amalia, but with Yugo. He wants Yugo to tell him how the hell to use the Dofus, because yes, they have a lot of power. I don't know, they are, I don't know how to call it. I don't want to see they are the reserve. They are kind of the resting place, let's say. The resting place for the most powerful Eliatrops, and my guess is the most powerful dragons. I don't know if there are type of dragons that are not born this way, but my assumption is that the 6 dragons, the original dragons, there were 6? I think there were 6. Were the most powerful ones. Again, I'm just going to assumptions. Perhaps I'm wrong. And yes, if I'm wrong, please tell me in the comments. But anyway, yeah, it's kind of weird to use these as, well, ransom to get something, and it's not even an object, it's a person they want to get, or he wants to get in this case. We saw, of course, while they traveled to this kingdom, to this new kingdom, or at least new kingdom to me, and we saw some of the scenery from the first season especially. And of course, once they arrived to this freeze in place, the first thing we saw is a giant and titan of eyes attacking them. Yes! To not lose all that perspective. Anyway, they are being attacked, and of course the bridge is broken, but they were saved thanks to the powers of this count that receives them, and we saw him in a very imposing, and he looks pretty cool when he's floating in the air in the entry of the kingdom. It's just very, very, I don't know, but I like the way he looks in that place. I don't like him. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing this in a very objective way. Because again, my shipper goggles, I say, oh, I hate this guy, he's the competition, hate him. But anyway, that is completely different of my normal self, let's say. Anyway, we saw this guy, and yes, he reveals his face. I have to accept, as I said in the reaction, he's a handsome guy. I have to accept that yes, he's a handsome guy. And I like the design of the guy. They don't make him hideous to make it easy to hate him even more. No, they make it handsome, they make it appealing to Amalia to say, okay, yeah, we have a real competition here. And especially, kind of Amalia, it's easier for her to give herself to protect the kingdom. So yeah, that creates a better conflict, that you make it some hideous, oh yeah, this guy's hideous, and she's just doing the right thing and all that. No, it's making a more interesting moral conflict. That's what I'm saying. And of course, we saw they are arriving to the garden and saying, oh, we create life. If you gave us the power of the Dofus, we can create life even more, or we're going to get something better, and yada 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 yada. Yugo is not happy. My guess is for two instances. For he's losing Amalia, and of course he's losing the Dofus, because he doesn't want to respect the deal. And this is obvious in the next few scenes that we're seeing the machinery, the Nox machinery, let's say, because yes, it looks a lot like the machinery that Nox used back in season 1. Of course, a little bit perfected and more aesthetically pleasing, I think is the correct word. Yeah, they are using this machinery, and this is when the real intentions, or at least some of the intention of this guy, are revealed. That he wants to use the power of the Dofus to float both kingdoms above the rest. So in the case that the Ogress cries again, the terrible water, the huge amount of water, doesn't reach both kingdoms. Because yes, it's very unstable. The Ogress is very unstable. Of course, Yugo is not happy with this one, because he's going to lose everything. His brother or sisters, I don't know which Dofus are those, and he's going to lose perhaps the love of his life. I want to say, perhaps my shipper goggles are on again and I haven't realized. But anyway, yeah, he's losing everything. So that's why he doesn't want to give all. Yes, he's angry and starts to attack. Unfortunately, he's stopped by the presence of Amalia, because again, she wants to protect her kingdom. Yes, he assured, the Count assured that they are not going to be harmed. I don't know if this is true, or he was just going to destroy them in the moment he's married to Amalia. But he just frees part of them, just leaving the head above the eyes. And they leave. Again, this is a very weird moment. It's a very weird, because yes, I hate this guy for what he's doing to Yugo and what he's doing to Amalia and what he's doing to their relationship, or to possible relationship, because yes, so far they have nothing. And yes, there is a reason for that. But I also hate the bastards that keep guarding the other guys, because yes, they are so full of themselves. So full of themselves that they are way too powerful and all that, yes. And they are teasing them because, yeah, oh yes, we're too strong for you. Cute to the kids, of course, the Pompon and Evangeline. They start to attack, and yes, one of them even fused with Robilax, which is something I wasn't expecting. And they are kicking ass, even for being, what, 5? I don't know how old they are, but they don't look that old. And they start to attack, and again, kicking ass, and yeah, I call it names. It's spectacular. Unfortunately, they are stopped because, of course, they have they have a power above them, because if they don't stop, they're going to harm their parents. That is something, of course, a kid doesn't want. he can tease their parents, but still they don't want to be anything wrong. We start to see the ceremony, the marriage of Amalia and the Count. And yes, Amalia looks content. My guess is because she believes she's doing the right thing for her kingdom, because yes, she wants to protect her kingdom. She looks content with this. She's willing to sacrifice her own freedom to protect her kingdom. Unfortunately, the other idiots, and I mean the kind of guardians of the Count, I don't know what to call them, they are a bunch of assholes. They are willing to sacrifice the other kids so they can be happy, I don't know why, or get revenge because yes, they were kicking their asses. This of course provokes Pompon, and he enters in a very similar state as we saw in season 1 when he fought against Rubilex for the first time. That kind of open eyes, and he's like the lost side, or the 1,000 yard side, stare, not side, I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the 1,000 yard stare. And yes, he's kicking now a ton of ass. He's just destroying everybody. And of course, he released the rest of the Brotherhood of Dofus. They start to counterattack. Unfortunately, this state was break thanks to all the attacks that he received. But again, in this state, the attacks do nothing against Pompon. He's kind of immune to every attack. The only thing that provokes is that yes, he kind of break of this state. And of course, they save the kids because they were pushed toward the end, and everybody's happy. In a very spectacular fight, again, this looks very similar to the normal episodes, but perhaps with a little bit of a better animation. Perhaps that's what I want to see, or that is what I believe I see. That yes, this is a slightly better animation than the last season. Perhaps I'm right, perhaps I'm wrong, I don't know. And we're continuing to see the ceremony because yes, they say, oh, don't worry, we're going to deal with these guys. Of course, before that, they say, Yugo, go to the ceremony, interrupt it, and we're dealing with this guy. And of course, Yugo just goes like crazy because yes, he wanted to protect Amalia and his own feelings, let's say. And not only that, during the fight, and something I did not mention, is the fusion of, I want to call him Junior because I don't remember the other name that was used for this creature, and Ruel fuse. So yes, again, just like his, I think it was grandaunt or grandmother back in season 2. And yes, he's still a lot more powerful than before. So yeah, it's a very spectacular fight, and all of them are kind of safe. And of course, before we go back to Yugo and Amalia, we finally see the proposition of marriage to Evangeline. This is the weirdest moment to use it, the weirdest moment to be proposed. And of course, Evangeline knew because, oh, this is the right moment to do the question, to ask me the question. So yeah, it is very cute, it is very funny, but yeah, they live like a married couple from a couple of years for the age of the kids. So yeah, it's just a formality for this moment. And of course, Evangeline says yes, and everybody is happy. Again, it's a very cute moment, and it's very fitting to their personalities and to the circumstances that they always have, because their romance grew in the heat of a battle. Because that is my guess, that Evangeline fell in love with him thanks to the heat of the battle that we saw in season 1 and part of season 2. No, I think she was in love at the end of season 2 and season 1, sorry. So yeah, I think it's just like that. Anyway, again, yeah, it's very fitting. But unfortunately, there is something else we discovered before we going back to Yugo and Amalia. We discovered something else, that yes, they are using trees to warm the entire city. They are just destroying trees, throwing them into this pool of lava, and that is what is warming the entire city. That's why the place is warm and it's not freezing in the inside. And of course, this is information that Amalia doesn't know, because yes, the intention of this guy, the Count, is to destroy part of the Kingdom of Salida, if not all the Kingdom of Salida, and throw it into this kind of, I don't know what to say, this warming mechanism for his city to be safe, or perhaps to even make both kingdoms float. So yeah, it is a very scummy movement in the case of the count. Now we're going to see the ceremony, and of course, as always, just in time, just when the moment has said if somebody is opposed to this marriage, said it now or be quiet forever. Anyway, of course, Yugo is opposed to this marriage. He tells all the information to Amalia that he's planning to use all the trees to fuel this machine. And of course, Amalia is kind of, oh my god, this guy is terrible. Of course, he's breaking the freaking marriage. And we saw again a very spectacular battle. First, we learned that Yugo now is capable of creating several portals, and not just small portals, huge portals. Because he was able to send a lot of the people that was there outside. So it's just a battle between these two guys. Something spectacular because again he's growing and growing and growing in power. And we saw this spectacular battle. Of course, he's still not old enough to be just an adult Eliatrop to be able to fight with every single enemy that he saw. And of course, this is a very visceral battle because yes, the feelings of Yugo are on the outside. He is feeling that he's losing, again, perhaps I'm right, perhaps I'm wrong, the love of his life. He doesn't want that, and not only that, he's losing to somebody that is deceiving her. So yeah, this makes it even worse than before. Yes, this is a very sentimental battle. I think that is the best word to describe this one. A very sentimental battle that we witness in this moment. Of course, again, we're fighting what I assume is a Shalor. Yes, this is the moment I kind of figured out that he was a Shalor. We're seeing an adult Shalor that is fighting, again, a very young Eliatrop. And my guess, he kind of knows better the strategy that you could use. He is not a full adult Eliatrop. He is still very young, especially for their people. But this is a very interesting point of view. Why is that? Because Yugo is very capable, and we saw in this fight for... I don't want... Again, these are my shipping goggles on. Kind of the fight for the feelings of Amalia, or for the hand of Amalia. I don't know what to call it like that, but yeah. This fight shows that Yugo is still young. Too young. And yeah, it's a good thing that the rest of the Eliatrops didn't return, because yes, they will have a very, very, very young king, which wouldn't be able to rule above them, because he is still too inexperienced, especially in the ruling part, and he is not powerful enough to defend them by himself. So yes, this is kind of showing us how Yugo has grown, but how he has a lot of field to cover. Which of course makes Season 3 interesting. Because you're saying, okay, yes, we have seen growth in Yugo, but not enough for him to become a boring character and perfect character that will deal with any enemy that he confronts easily. Yeah, it's interesting to see this topic here, and or at least I find it very interesting to see this kind of topic portrayed here. Of course, we saw the fight, we saw that Yugo is losing. Yugo is losing badly, but he's willing to sacrifice himself and all his energy to protect, of course, Amalia. My guess, that's what the Count was counting on, let's say. When he launches his attack, kind of a, let's go, freezing ray, that he was willing to throw it against Amalia because he knew Yugo was going to receive the brunt of the attack and was not willing to stay away from that point, and because he was going to protect Amalia. He does. He protects Amalia, and of course kind of fell down because, yeah, it's a lot of energy that he fought. Of course, the rest of the Brotherhood of Tofu arrives, and they kind of defend Yugo, combining all their attacks, but of course this wasn't enough, Amalia protects them thanks to the binds, and she starts to attack the Count. My guess is the Count didn't want to attack Amalia because, yeah, Amalia is powerful because, yeah, she is. But my guess, she's not as powerful as this guy. And that's why she was able to hold him back because he doesn't want to hurt her. But he really loved Amalia and is just obsessed with the power that Yugo possesses. That is my guess. And of course, Amalia defeats this guy in a very, very satisfying way, for me at least, because yes, we see that yes, finally she's protecting the real one for her. Again, my shipping goggles, guys. But he loses and he runs away to another place, to a windy place. And of course Yugo kind of faints and she said, okay, this deal is off because you didn't fulfill any part of said deal. And yes, because perhaps it was now really endanger her kingdom. So yeah, she was not willing to sacrifice herself for nothing, because if she married this guy, the kingdom was in danger. If she doesn't marry this guy, her kingdom was in danger. So yeah, it was the same answer for her. So they kind of protect Yugo again. We return to Master Yori and Otomai and the rest. We discover, going back to Amalia and the rest, or Yugo and the rest, if you want to call it like that Master Yori is not really the same guy that is with Otomai. He's frozen in this place, in this kingdom. They recover the Dofus. While they recover the Dofus, of course, they notice this. And we saw, of course, the intention of the fake Master Yori with this kind of evil laugh. And that is the end of the first special, of the Eliatrop Dofus special. Very intriguing, because now thanks to these 45 minutes that they gave themselves, or the producers of this cartoon gave them, we have a lot more time to establish characters. Because yes, the advantage of the series is that you have several episodes to establish the characters. This one you have 3 episodes. Luckily, they are longer episodes, like the Ogress is 45 minutes long. My guess is when they it was seen on the TV, or the French TV, it was an hour long with commercial and all like that. So yeah, it was interesting, a different take, because yes, they kind of introduce characters very briefly, even for the newcomers, for the people who just watch this special, and for the old comers it's kind of a satisfying way of seeing what is going on with the characters you follow for 2 seasons. And now that I see this special, I understand why you call this kind of season 2.5. Sorry about that. We call it season 2.5 because yeah, it really is. It gave you information about what happened after season 2. And I don't know what is going to happen in season 3, but perhaps it has something to do with what is going on here. There is a lot of information to gain from this special, and a lot of intriguing questions that were left unanswered, which is obviously something good because that makes you intrigued for the 3rd season. But there is stuff that I didn't consider. That yes, thanks to the way of the race of Yugo, in this case the Eliatrops, behaved, of course Yugo grew or matured slower than the rest. He grows a lot slower because the rest kind of seem grown up, mature. They don't look like teenagers anymore. They look like almost adults. Amalia is still looking a little bit younger, but not as young as Yugo. But it's understandable. My guess, again, I don't recall if you told me this. Perhaps if you did, and that's why I remember, or this is my own deduction, that yes, the Eliatrops have a longer span of life. Yes, these ones, especially the 6 originals, are immortal. Technically speaking, or genetically speaking, they are immortal. Because once they die, they return to Adolphus, and with a few moments or a few years later, they are reborn with all their memories and with all that, with the exception of Kilby, of course. But my guess is their lifespan is a lot longer than the rest of the races. So yeah, they can take a lot longer to mature. Which is something, I don't want to say disappointing, but something that I don't like that much, but I like it at the same time. Yeah, I know it's weird. I like the fact that these creatures are so out of the world that yes, nothing that we have seen so far in this kingdom is like the Eliatropes, thanks to they can create portals and they grow a lot slower. And of course, especially the 6 original ones, they are immortal and all that, yes. Because they come directly from a god and a goddess. But I don't like it because I wanted to see a mature Yugo, an adult Yugo. As I said during the second season, in several episodes, Yugo is a very capable warrior. But I cannot imagine how powerful he is going to become once he became an adult. Because yes, if Kilby is powerful, and he was, thanks to the help of the EliaQ, but he's one of the weakest Eliatropes, the one who is not fit to fight. Perhaps he's in the middle, he's a middle one, because I think the weaker perhaps is the Eliatrope, the brother of the sister of Balthazar, because yes, you are not fitted to fight, especially with this age. I don't know. Let's say I don't know the power level between the Eliatropes. But it's... my guess is Yugo is among the most powerful ones. I guess. Alongside perhaps with Fieris and the other Eliatrope that accompany Fieris. My guess is that. So I want to see just how powerful Yugo can be. Because my guess is obscenely powerful. That is my guess. That's just how powerful Yugo can be. It's a lot of power in the hands of that guy. I want to see that. So that's why I'm kind of unhappy for this development. But happy because it shows just how alien the Eliatropes really are. Especially to this kingdom. To this 12 kingdoms. To this world, let's say. To the world of 12. But anyway, that is a topic of another video, perhaps another one. But anyway, yeah, it's a very interesting episode, a very intriguing one, and I cannot wait to see the next one. Of course, I don't have to wait. It's a little bit late when I'm recording it because yes, I have to cut my reaction in the middle because I have to go someplace else, and I return in the night, so that's why it's... if you notice a change of angle in the camera, if you notice a change of light in the camera, it's because of that. I have to interrupt the recording at a certain point. It wasn't that great, but yeah, it needed to be in another place. So yes, it was a very interesting episode, and I cannot wait for the second special, which I'm gonna be seeing probably tomorrow, and I'm going to try to watch the third one tomorrow too. So yeah. The only thing I have to say, and before saying goodbye, is thank you so much for the person who gave me subtitles. I noticed later on, I watched in YouTube, that was a little bit jumpy in the beginning of the second recording. I didn't notice that you gave me a link to download the episode. Of course, I download the episode. Yes, it has subtitles, which is a lot of help for me. This is a huge, immense contribution to the channel. I cannot thank you enough to Mana Perf or Perf. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Please correct me if I pronounce it incorrectly. But thank you for your help, especially because again, you're giving a huge contribution to this channel, and I cannot thank you enough because this is so hard to get. These specials are so hard to get, especially with this outstanding quality. It looks gorgeous. the details, oh, it looks so good. And again, thank you for giving me the subtitles for this one, because again, I cannot speak French, therefore it's very hard for me to find it in good quality. Thank you so much for this one to Manapirf or Manaperf, please correct me how you say your name. And yeah, thank you to all of you to well, watching this special. So yeah, I think that's it for now. See you on the next special. Bye. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video, and yes, thank you so much for your attention, guys. And as always, if you want to leave a comment, that will help me a lot more. If you want to give me a like, that will help me even more to get on the top of the recommendation for YouTube. And if you want to share this video, that will help me even more. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for your attention. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.